So yeah, I've got some Whoppers for you today. Let's get into it. So here we are, we're in Tijuana, and we got a flat tire. So now we're getting a new tire, or this one fixed, something like that. You should see it, it's a big, huge bolt screw. Oh wow, did you hear that? Bolt screw in the tire. This is the culprit right here. Oh my goodness. It's a souvenir. Hey, welcome back to Frank and Angie's Whopper channel, where we talk about the Whoppers that affect our lives and our early retirement and our retire early lifestyle, good or bad. Stick around, I got some Whoppers for you. Let's start with this one. ABC News actually admits now, first off though, we are still at the beach. We practice what we preach. We're living the life. And it isn't just this week. We've been doing this since our late 20s. We've traveled trailered around USA in our late 20s and early 30s. We homesteaded, raised our children, and then we've traveled the world, and now we're on the beach telling you the Whoppers of the day. Yeah, ABC finally admits that they, what? Oh my gosh, censored? They actually do that? No, that's not, that couldn't be. ABC censors, they censored who? Robert Kennedy Jr.? Why? What is censorship anyway? You know, this reminds me of when I was younger. We used to drive, we used to be on the road, and we would see this, what do you call those street
billboards?
We used to see the billboards that used to say it is illegal to discriminate against people for, or censor. It's illegal to censor. It used to be a bad thing, but now it's like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, we censored him. So, I mean, what do you do? Well, you boycott them. That's what you do. Quit watching them. I myself quit watching them. We don't watch. I know we removed all of those.
Our YouTube and our YouTube
we don't get them. But
we haven't watched TV in years.
Matter of fact, the Airbnb that we stay at, I told him he was going to get us a new stand for the TV, and I said, "Oh, don't bother. I don't use the TV. I don't watch it." It took like 2 weeks for it to sink in. He asked me 2 weeks later, "So you don't need the TV?" 2 weeks later, he said, "So you don't," he's obviously a TV watcher. And that's the thing you have in a lot of these Latin countries. You've got a TV watching culture, like in Ecuador and in Mexico, and even in southern Italy. So this is not particular. It's just a lot of the developing countries, and I know it's the older generation. The new generation is on the internet, but they tend to be
on YouTube.
They tend to be myopically stuck on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, so. But if you coax them a little bit and help them out, they'll get it, and they'll welcome new information.
Yeah, they do. You mean the other side of the story? That's what it is. It's the other side of the story.
And so ABC News takes it upon themselves to tell us what we should hear and to filter what we should think is truth or not, as if we're just children sitting in a school, or, you know, people that just don't know anything sitting in a pew, and we need some sort of cryptic Latin writings to be deciphered or something, you know, what do you call that, Da Vinci Code or something, you know, make it sound really complicated. The age we live in, I tell you. Now here's a Whopper that affects the people in the Army. You know, when you sign a contract, let's just keep it simple. Like in a rental agreement, the landlord is going to do these things and you're going to do these things. Well, that's what going into the Army is. It's a contract. You're going to do this, they're going to do this. Well, apparently not so. Contracts can be changed at will, apparently, when it comes to the government telling people what to do. it's like I've got another aspect of this, so hang in there. But right now, let's just talk about the Army. Apparently, you know, they get a time contract where, say, for 3 years you're going to be in the Army and you're basically going to be doing all of these things for them. But now they're saying no, when the 3 years are up, you have to do it 3 more years. 3 more years are being added to people, to a certain group within the Army that apparently they haven't been getting enough people signing up to list in the Army. Wonder of wonders, yeah, why people aren't signing up for the military. Let's see, why people aren't signing up. Actually, people are actually quitting, and so they have a shortage. So quiet quitting, which is a buzzword now, where people are just quietly quitting their jobs because they'll have none of this amazing thing that's happening nowadays with extortion. Apparently, employment is the only place that's happening. It's also happening in places like the military. It seems like nothing is sacred anymore, not even your word, when it comes to institutions and governments and doing what they said they would do. It could very well be they have some very fine print in there. Let's face it, they have all of the powerful lawyers at their disposal, so they're smart enough to put the fine print in there. And when you're young and signing up, you're not smart enough to know what it means. And most young people won't pay for a lawyer. And so I'm sure the fine print says, hey, if we want to, we can just prolong this thing for 3 more years. But by then, a lot of people have grown up a little bit, and they're getting quite disgruntled. You got to give 3 more years. That's the sign of the times. That's what's happening. And in addition, another Whopper, which is related, as I said, the Whoppers are usually on the same tray, so they can easily blend with one another. Even though one Whopper's got cheese, the next Whopper doesn't have any cheese. The next Whopper's got lettuce. You know what I'm talking about. So apparently, the government wants to allow young people, let's just say that's you, the government wants to allow you to put your money in your own savings account instead of paying for Social Security. How do you like them apples? The government wants to allow you. Now, how does that sound? I mean, have we been beaten down so much that the freedom of choice has been removed from our lives to such an extent that we can no longer recognize when we're slaves? I mean, it's a sad situation when we cannot recognize, and especially if you get this Fed CBDC software, they try to call it coin, that is going to not allow you to do anything you want. And so when we read that now they're thinking about allowing you, I mean, this is just mind-boggling to me. I just can't even go on with this. It's distracting, and it's too much. Moving on to the next Whopper. Nationwide support for an assault weapon ban is falling. Apparently, Americans are less interested than ever in banning weapons. Wonder of wonders. Gee whiz, I wonder why. We keep hearing all of these bad news, all of these shootings. It's like there's no end to it. It's like I've always said, whenever things are condoned, whenever evil, it's not just things, evil. This is about good and evil. And whenever evil isn't punished and it's condoned, it's not just condoned, it's actually encouraged and promoted. Because that's really what you're doing when you say that it's the fault of the gun. It's like, well, you know, It's the gun. If people couldn't have guns, these bad shootings wouldn't be happening. Never mind the fact that criminals always have guns because they don't ask permission to have guns, they steal them. It's the law-abiding citizens that would suffer when they can't get. So thanks for coming to our video today, and let us know what you thought of the Whoppers. Is there anything in particular you would like to hear? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and have a wonderful day.